Hello, welcome. Today we're doing Autumn's favorites, which I'm so excited about because I love watching these, seeing what everyone is into, and I think I have a good little crop of stuff. So I have some like products I've been using, I have some books and music recommendations, and just some like activities and vibes that I've been into. So I will share it all with you today. First favorite is trim shopping. So we've all been yarn shopping, we've all been fabric shopping. Let me turn you on to some trim and notion shopping. This all started because I needed to get some craft materials for a Material Girls event that I was doing. We're making rosette badges and you needed a bunch of like trims and ribbons and stuff. So I started scouting out some places in Soho in London to get stuff. I started at McCulloch & Wallace, which is a place where I get a bunch of my yarn. It's a really great shop. I posted on TikTok about it, and then someone said, do you know that there's an entire shop around the corner from there that's dedicated to trims? This has changed my life. So the shop is called Fan Your Trimmings, and I have been there now multiple weekends in a row to go trim shopping. Obviously started by just getting stuff that I needed for Material Girls, but now I'm on to personal projects because I'm finding it so fun. Look at this, all the different trims, ribbons. This one has some sparkles in it. It's got some plaid. Oh my gosh, this was such a find. First of all, it's kind of like elasticy and it has ruffles on either side. Got a black version of that, a skinnier version of the black version. Oh, and some more of this, which I got from the Material Girls workshop, but this is just my latest trip haul, okay? I'm shopping, like so fun to go in and just pick out whatever stands out to you, the colors, the textures, and a lot more affordable too than if you're going and trying to like get a bunch of meters of fabric. Stuff like this can be like 1 to 5 pounds a meter, depending on how specialty it is. So it's fun to like go in and feel like you can just grab a few things, have fun with them. So I've been doing a lot of trim shopping lately, and this leads me to a next favorite, which is not making things that take more than a day to make. So for example, with my trims, I've been making Good Squish inspired headbands. The way that they pair different laces and trims and stuff, you can see why I was having so much fun finding stuff like this to layer in the trim store. It costs like 75 pounds a headband, which I'm sorry, it's just like a bit ridiculous because I figured out how to make them in about 15 minutes. Link a more in-depth tutorial down below because I made one on TikTok, but like what an easy win and a fun project. I've just been obsessed with doing stuff like this where it's like I can go to the studio, I can sew something in a morning, I can come back with like a fun project to show Grace, do a little fashion show. I feel like we all start autumn being like, oh, I want to make, you know, this many sweaters and then I'll have them ready by the time that winter comes around, whatever. I have not been able to get myself to do that this autumn. Part of it is because I've just been working a lot and so I don't have a lot of time to get on with like super big projects. Cut yourself some slack. Like let's do some simple projects, something that you can do in a morning. In that vein, I've been making these headbands and the trim I just showed you is going to make some more of them, so stay tuned. Next quick project is these rosette badges. So I made these for Grace and I. This one was mine, this one was Grace's, to wear to the Material Girls World Launch Party because this was the craft, like people were making them while they were there. It inspired me so much because I think I'm often thinking about like, oh, knitting projects, sewing projects, whatever. This is a hot glue project, okay? And it's still like a fashion project. Like I'm gonna keep wearing this. I saw some people attaching them to bags, which is so cute. I'm gonna find a cute jacket to put this on. This is a fashion piece that I got to DIY and make myself, but it took about 20 minutes, okay? Some hot glue, an old badge. Obviously this one is like Material Girls branded, but whatever badge you have left over, go trim shopping, grab a hot glue gun. Amazing. This is just the beginning. Prepare to be sick of me with the rosettes because I have a few more ideas for this. First of all, I love when people crochet little flowers to kind of wear in a similar way, like kind of as a brooch or around your neck or something. So I need to crochet one of those. Again, that'll be like a 30-minute project. So that will be making an appearance in the future too, but I think those are such good, just like do it in a morning projects. Other quick projects that I've loved making this fall, bubble skirts, which is a free pattern in Material Girls magazine. Many of the things that I publish in Material Girls as patterns are meant to be things that you can make in like an afternoon and wear out. I don't know if I've ever like said that that's the intention, but it definitely is, and I need to like take my own advice because I find myself getting into like bigger projects, but really it's so fun to have like a quick win of like I just sat down and enjoyed doing this for a few hours, now I get to wear it out. So yeah, the bubble skirts I think are an example of that, and also in this issue is this mini bonnet, which I also made in like a morning. Up next on my project list, expect some mittens. I think that's a great like do it in a day project. It's about to be bonnet season, which is the best. I have this pattern called the Big City Bonnet. I also put out a crochet version in Material Girls for free called Be My Baby Bonnet. Both of those are things that I usually make in like an afternoon, which is so fun. Going out on a Tuesday night. Hear me out. There are a few layers to this. Number one, some context. My partner and I live in London. This is going to be our third like winter in London, and it's getting to that time of year when it starts being completely dark at like 4 or 5 p.m. That's when the sun goes down. The first 2 winters we were here, we kind of let that like creep up on us and surprise us a bit, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, like once I finish work I can't do anything at night because it's completely dark out. Like it's basically 10 p.m. Time to tuck in, put on my pajamas, whatever. So far this year I'm very proud of us. We have made the commitment to be like, no, you still can have plans after work. Like it's still 5 o'clock even though it's dark outside. So that's number one, is simply like doing things, going to art shows, meeting up with friends, whatever. But when I say going out on a Tuesday, I also mean like going out, you guys, okay? Going to bars, hanging out with your friends. Oh, it's a work night. I don't care. I'd rather be tired on company time than on my weekend leisure time. I can get through a workday tired. I'm an adult, you know, I can still do my tasks. I've really been loving prioritizing weekends as leisurely times. To take a long walk, to be outside early in the morning before the people are waking up, getting a coffee, walking around and enjoying that time, and not spending my weekends being like, oh, I didn't get home until 1, 2 a.m. last night. Now I'm tired, now I'm in a bad mood on the weekend. No, prioritize your weekends. Go out on a Tuesday night. So fun. It makes the weeks go a lot faster too. Now I've got taking a long time to get ready. I have been loving doing my hair, doing my makeup, coming up with cute outfits. Obviously those are things that I've always like enjoyed, but I feel like this autumn I've really like stepped into just kind of like a new era of what I want that to look like. First of all, I started trying to get good at doing makeup. I was a Glossier girl, like growing up. Glossier was the first makeup that I really had, and they're very big on like light touch makeup, doing everything with your hands. I was just kind of like swiping stuff all over my face. Like that is all I knew about makeup until a few months ago when I was like, no, I'm gonna learn how to do this. Bought some brushes, realized they're not hard to use. It's actually quite nice to not have like stuff all over your fingers. I've been loving doing my makeup. So every day I'm like getting up and doing a full face. Don't know if that will like last forever, but that has been my vibe lately. I have not tried many makeup brushes, so I don't have like expert recommendation, but I'm using the Saie Beauty makeup brushes and I do really like them. They're like soft. They feel really like nice as well. I love Saie's makeup products, which is why I chose to get their brushes. So some favorites right now are their Glowy Super Gel. This is like a primer that you put underneath your base makeup and gives this like natural glow to the skin that is so pretty. Like I don't wear a highlighter anymore. I wear it underneath everything and I think it just makes like this super nice glowy sheen. Love it. For a few years now, my base has always been the Saie Slip Tint, so I wear that over there. And then their Dew Bronze and Dew Blush are definitely favorites as well. I've also been doing my hair every day, and TBC, we'll see again how long that lasts, because this is like a new passion of mine since I got a haircut a week ago. You know, after you get a haircut and you're just like, wow, this looks so good, I should like make it look that good every day. I've been like round brushing it, and I got some expensive ass hair oil to try to make it shiny. We also have try on multiple outfits before you leave, which is, I feel like, just a way of life for material girls. I've been loving like putting something on, doing my makeup in it, deciding, oh, I don't like this top, let's change the top. Then going downstairs, playing shoe store. That's what Grace and I call it, when we take out all of my shoes and see what looks best with the outfit. I love living with a girl. And then being like, oh no, we need to like add a sock, we need to whatever. Getting dressed has been a long process for me lately, and I've decided to just lean into it. Next up in my morning routine that I think will really seal the deal is a fragrance. For years, like all throughout high school and college, I was a Glossier You girl. And then they changed the formulation, and now I feel like it smells like alcohol on my skin. I went and smelled the 2 new ones that they came out with, and also those just like have that kind of like alcoholic base note to them, which they shouldn't. Back to the original formulation, because I love that stuff. I thought it smelled so good on me. I was gonna be a lifetime customer, like so ready to keep buying that. Again, I feel like Glossier got its grips on me so young that I never learned how to use like a different product. So like similar with makeup, I've had to branch out, and now with fragrance, it's like, hey, I don't like the smell of that fragrance anymore. Where do I even start to find a fragrance? So a friend recommended me Fleur, said that it's similar to Glossier You in a way that it's like not an overpowering fragrance, but it's kind of trying to just like take the scent of you and like your skin and just like add something to it, which is what I'm looking for. You know, I just want that like effortless, like, oh, she smells so good kind of vibe. I walked into Space NK, which is like British Sephora, by the way, and they had this whole sample pack. So I've been working my way through it. Tried like 3 of them so far. I really liked all of them. I think my favorite is Missing Person. It's £30 for this whole thing. And I think it'll help me figure out what I might want to get, like a full size of what might be my signature scent. So taking a long time to get ready. You guys, make it fun. Like investing in your appearance is so important. Like it makes me feel really good going throughout the day being like, I love my outfit. I got a little like time to play around and be creative this morning. Had fun getting ready. Another favorite has been wandering around. Again, some context. I'm a very type A girl. Like when I head out of the house, especially since moving to London, I have a plan, I have a route, I have a timeline. I'm really bad at just like making up timelines. On a Saturday, I'll be like, oh my gosh, we have to get home by 1 o'clock for lunch or whatever. And it's like, you have nowhere to be. Like, why are you making up these timelines, you know? And lately I've been doing a little bit more wandering. Have you guys heard of wandering around and just like seeing what you find? Part of what's been fun about this is that Grace and I have been walking more places. We're really lucky to live in a walkable city. So there have been times when we've wanted to go do something and it's like, oh, it'll take 30 minutes to get there on the tube, but we could walk there in an hour. And so we'll walk there, which is great because it's like you're passing by restaurants, you can check out their menus, you can grab a treat on the way, you see more of the city. So walking, again, have you all heard of walking? Going on these long walks. Sometimes they have a destination, sometimes we just start walking and then like loop back after we feel like we've gone far enough. The other day when we were out trim shopping in Soho, we did some wandering and landed at this amazing brunch spot called Soderbergh. Had never heard of it before. They sold a Swedish meatball breakfast, which is like so my vibe. It was just because we were like walking by looking for a restaurant to eat lunch at. So fun. Want to be doing more of that. Another recent weekend wander, we went to our first car boot sale. Car boot sale is when people like bring a bunch of their possessions in their car and all line up in a parking lot and like sell stuff out of the boots of their car. Kind of like a garage sale in the US, except a lot of people don't have garages here. We're just wandering around looking for stuff. What do I find? Look at this. It's a little cake handbag. Guess how much I paid for it? £5. Wandering around will do wonders, won't it? So this was such a fun find. I was just going because I, thought the concept of a car boot was cool and I'd never been to one before. Across this, I think not only is like, it's just so fun that this is the picture on it, but the shape of it and this clasp, I mean, oh, I'm obsessed. It's gonna be so fun to style this, and also we've already had it like hanging around our apartment as kind of like a piece of decor. Wandering around, I'm inspired. Let's talk reading. I haven't been doing many like full books lately, which is a bit odd for me. Like usually I have a book going and I share my thoughts on them on this channel, but this fall was like one of the busiest falls of my life. I was working really hard and really like late nights to launch Material Girls World. My whole last video is about that, but that is my like excuse for not reading whole books. So I've gotten a bit more into like essays and articles, reading short form content, which has been so inspiring because there's so many interesting thoughts happening in that space. There's this creator on TikTok who I'll find and tag who I think does amazing stuff in this space. She's always talking about like podcasts and editorial essays and things like that that just bring up interesting ideas about like sociology and how we live in modern culture. I love watching their videos and getting recommended content to read. It's making me think like, should I get a subscription to like The Cut or the New York Times or something, because she just always has such interesting things to say. So on the short form train, I have been loving having a subscription. So I recently subscribed to Crafts magazine, which is a publication done by the Crafts Council in England. Beautiful, like huge book. I think it's gonna come to me quarterly, that interviews different makers in it. It has, I mean, just beautiful layout and pictures and everything. And it's been so fun when I just have like 15 minutes to crack it open, find someone that I think would be interesting to read about and learn about someone's practice, So again, feeling very inspired to like have subscriptions, to have something more interesting to do than like doom scroll when you have a few minutes. It is a big book, but it kind of fits into the short form category. This Long Thread, Women of Color on Craft, Community and Connection by Jen Hewitt. This is the current Knit Lit pick. So through Material Girls, I've been recommending books that are about textiles, craft politics quarterly, along with each magazine that comes out. It's a collection of articles and essays, meeting someone new on every page, which is so interesting because they interview such a range of people who are hobbyists, who do this as a business, people who are all different kinds of textile artists and have different backstories of how they came to it. So it's been really inspiring to just read so many stories in one place. And you have to stay tuned to my vlogs. This will probably be something that I do a book review of in one of those very soon. One more thing on the essay route, I read this a few months ago, Crafted with Pride, Queer Craft and Activism in Contemporary Britain. It's edited by Daniel Fountain, so it's a bunch of essays from a bunch of different people that are brought together, and it's all about craft and queerness. I did a full review on this in a different video that I'll link, but again, if you're looking for a book where it's like you can sit down, read for a few minutes, get kind of a whole new perspective, and then the next day meet a whole new person, I think this is great for that. Lastly, let's chat music, because I think that fall is the most important time of year to have like a proper soundtrack for. Albums I've been loving. The new Remy Wolf album, Big Ideas, is so good. Absolutely a no-skip album, so fun. Like I'm obsessed with her whole vibe. I'm pretty sure this is the only thing I've listened to in the past 2 weeks. Honestly, I just have it on a constant loop whenever I have headphones in. Charmed by Clairo, it's a charm autumn. I think, first of all, the album is great. It's again a no skips album and just such a good vibe to play it like front to back. The further like world that has been built around this has been so good. Her tour outfits have been amazing, so inspiring. I'll pop some pictures of my favorites up, but I just think she's hitting such a good vibe of like cozy, sexy. There's a bit of like equestrian going on there too, which I love. I have to give a hometown shout out. I love the new Hippocampus album. I'm from Minneapolis and they're like a hometown band. I low-key like followed them around during high school. They've come out with a few albums since and always a good vibe. So I have been listening to this a lot. Another like front to back one that I love. I used to love making playlists in college and stuff, but I've honestly fallen off a bit from it because I've been spoiled. Grace makes amazing playlists and I just listen to hers. She's so good at hitting a vibe, and I just find so many like new artists and stuff through listening to her playlist. She does make all the playlists that are in Material Girls magazine and that we play at the events and stuff. So I'll link the Material Girls Spotify down below because she has some really good ones on there. That's all I've got for today. Let me know in the comments what you're loving for autumn, what you think I should try, if you've got any recommendations to pass on. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be back next week with another vlog about my life as an artist in London. Come back to see what I'm making and doing there. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.